Hey guys, so today we're going to analyze our first song by Charlie Haden. And thanks to Eric for the suggestion. We really appreciate it. So this is a jazz ballad in C minor. So let me bring the score editor up and choose New. We need the jazz standard map. It's going to be in 4/4, and I'm going to choose a 32 bar empty layout. The key is C, and it's minor. I'll make the map bigger. I don't think I need the complete map, so I'm going to change it to secondary dominance just for now. And I can close the menu now also. So the first chord is the 1 minor. It is shown as a triad. Usually in jazz, the 1 minor is a minor 6 chord. And usually I would keep the minor 6 and ignore the chart. But this time, I'm going to change the minor 6 into a regular triad, so I can show you how to do that right now. So tap and hold on the C minor 6, and let's change the default C minor 6 to a C minor triad with melodic minor. And tap to add the chord. The next chord is a C7 flat 9 that targets an F minor. That's obviously a 5/7 of 4 to 4. We knew it was going to be a 7 flat 9 because we're in the minor mode. So we will be mostly dealing with chords inside the circles, which are from C minor. Then the F minor is the 4 minor. I'm also going to change it to a minor triad instead of the default minor 7th chord. So the next 3 chords are really interesting. A flat diminished, B flat 7, and B diminished. If you look at the map, there are no A flat diminished chords anywhere. And this is because there's no chord that functions as a flat 6 diminished in tonality. Let me give you a tip. Every time you see a diminished chord that has no apparent functionality in the current key, assume that the diminished chord is an inversion. As we've mentioned in many other videos, the diminished 7th chord is a symmetrical structure with only one mode. So any note in a diminished 7 chord could be the root of that chord. So A flat diminished 7 is the same as B diminished 7 or D diminished 7 and also F diminished 7. An A flat diminished 7 could be a B diminished 7 over A flat or a D diminished 7 over A flat, or an F diminished 7 over A flat. So with that in mind, when I look at this progression, I clearly see it starts on the 1 minor, and then it is expected to go around the map clockwise, doing tonic, subdominant, dominant, and then tonic again. And so far it does. C minor, tonic, F minor, subdominant, which we arrived by way of its 5/7, a secondary dominant. The next measure should be in the dominant region, and then resolve back to the tonic on the next measure after that. So this entire measure is a dominant chord. It's just an interesting reharmonization of a simple 5/7 using inversions. The goal here is to create a nice bass line that takes us to the C minor. The 2 most effective bass lines are movement of a perfect 5th or stepwise up or down. As you can see, A flat, B flat, B, and C is a very nice bass line. It's all stepwise movement up. So the A flat diminished has to be a chord in the dominant region. It's just an inversion of the B diminished 7 chord. So B diminished 7 over A flat, which is just the B diminished 7 chord in 3rd inversion with the 7th on the bass. The B flat 7 is also a dominant chord, the flat 7/7. But if we want to be accurate, this B flat 7 is not the default flat 7/7 paired with the Lydian flat 7 with a sharp 11. This is a chord that works great in a major key. This B flat 7 is just a B flat 7 paired with the Mixolydian scale. You don't want that sharp 11, which is an E natural, when you're in the key of C minor. So B diminished 7, the 7 diminished 7, and of course it resolves to the 1 minor, C minor. Next, there's a D flat diminished 7, and again, this could be any of the 4 diminished 7ths: D flat diminished 7, E diminished 7, G diminished 7, or B flat diminished 7 in any inversion. So yeah, all these diminished 7th chords are tricky when you look at charts. Whoever wrote this chart decided it was easier to see a simple diminished 7 chord than a diminished 7 chord with an inversion. To find which diminished chord this is, you can always look at the target, because your best bet is to expect the diminished 7 chord to be the 7 diminished 7 of that target, working as a secondary dominant. The target is A flat, which is the flat 6 in C minor. The 7 diminished 7 of A flat is G diminished 7, which of course is one of our 4 possible diminished 7 chords. So this is not a D flat diminished 7, but actually a G diminished 7 over D flat. Same thing with a different name. It's just that the G diminished 7 over D flat is the correct spelling of this chord. And no, these perspectives or this process is not useless, if that's what you were thinking. When you write G diminished 7 over D flat, you can see this as a 7 diminished 7 of A flat, and you can use this information to reharmonize on the fly. For example, I can substitute it for an E flat 7 or an A7 sharp 11 because I know this chord's function now. Notice how the G diminished 7 over D flat resolves to an A flat over C. These inversions were also introduced to create an interesting bass line, which is actually not surprising since Charlie Haden was a bass player. The rest is pretty easy. A flat in first inversion, B diminished 7, So that does it for another video. Thanks again for joining us, and thank you again to Eric for the suggestion that made this video possible. If you also have a suggestion or any question about anything, hit us up in the comments down below and we'll get to you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you all next time.